welcome to a brand new podcast brought to you by Hayters TV. It is called Pint-Sized Pressers, and we will be bringing you the best of the action from the Premier League managers and their press conferences today. And most importantly, doing it over a pint. Cheers, Dan.
Cheers.
I am Ayisha Gulati. I'm joined by Dan Bennett, and we are at this wonderful new venue. It is Box Piccadilly in the heart of London. It is a new sports bar. It's got everything you need. It's got 33 screens, one absolutely massive screen. Come and watch all your sport. It's got shuffleboard, it's got darts. I mean, karaoke. What more could you want, Dan?
Yeah, it's amazing. We were lucky enough to get a tour earlier in the week, and just, you know, everything's so new. It's just, I mean, it's a great place as well. Like, you know, like you say, right in the heart of London. It's, I'll be in here a lot, I think.
It is brilliant. We'll be here a lot. I hope you guys are here a lot too. Honestly, couldn't recommend it any more. Come and check it out. But straight to the Premier League action, because it is a weekend of action-packed action. I mean, we've got to start with the leaders. Arsenal, they face Palace this weekend. What are you making of this one? Are Arsenal going to get a win under their belt? Are they going to stay in top?
I think so. It's, Arsenal sort of made a habit of making these sort of games routine wins, and I can't see them not winning this one, to be honest. Obviously, it's, you know, a nice return for Eze against his return, a reunion with his former club, former manager in Oliver Glasner.
I see him scoring.
Yeah, you could see it, couldn't you? It's one of those things.
I see it happening.
It's, so that will be quite an interesting storyline. But obviously, a bit of bad news for Arsenal today that Gabriel's potentially not going to play, which is a huge blow. Defensively, Maresca, I think, has done really well since when he's been called upon, when Saliba or Gabriel have been injured. But just from set pieces as well, like even scored against in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid during the week. Got the assist for the goal against Fulham, flicking it on for Trossard. You know, he's such a threat attacking wise as well. So I think they will miss him, but even without him, if he doesn't play, I still expect them to get the job done, I would have thought.
Yeah, you mentioned there the injury news. Well, our reporter, James St Dennis, was at Arsenal's training ground today, and he heard from Mikel Arteta.
Arteta spoke about some long-term absentees, the likes of Noni Madueke, Kai Havertz, Martin Odegaard, and said the trio are progressing well, and it shouldn't be too long until they're back on the field.
Yeah, not much. Obviously, Big Gabi had to leave the pitch with an issue, and he hasn't been able to train yet. So let's see how he evolves in the next 24 hours, whether he's available or not for the weekend.
And any news on the longer-term injuries in Madueke, Odegaard, Havertz, Jesus? Any news on timescale?
They are all progressing really well. They are started to do certain activities. They are all super willing to be available as quick as possible, but at the moment none of them are yet in contention in the next week or so.
Two teams who have had European football this week, something that Crystal Palace are not used to. How do you think that could affect the game?
Yeah, it's tough, especially those Thursday night games. I think in a way it's easier with the Tuesday or the Wednesday night. But those Thursday night games, obviously they'll always play on Sunday. But it's such a quick turnaround, and obviously Palace were at home this week, so it's perhaps not as bad as making the trip abroad. But these Thursday nights, Sunday sort of schedule is so tough, and obviously Palace losing as well. I mean, what turn up that was to Larnaca.
Honestly, all those fans turning up to Selhurst Park, first bit of European action they've seen there.
They've still done well in the Conference League, so I think they'll be okay. But I think Palace have got quite a tight squad as well, small squad. So I think that is going to affect them, say, more than it would Arsenal playing in the Champions League. And obviously Arsenal got a few injuries, but they've got a much bigger squad and they're much more prepared to deal with, Europe than Premier League, because they've been doing it a while as well, so they're used to that.
So you've predicted Arsenal. I am going to predict Palace on this one.
Really?
I think they'll be absolutely reeling from last night's loss. And Arsenal, I just think they're going to have a bit of a trip at some point.
It's all been going a bit too well.
Exactly. I kind of see I see Palace getting something out of this game. I think it's going to be quite edgy, but I'm going to go for Palace.
I just think Arsenal's so hard to beat, especially at the Emirates. They just suffocate teams, like the way they keep the ball, and they just dominate you. And I mean, to be honest, that probably suits Palace in a way, because they like to sit back, three at the back, counter with the wing backs. So, perhaps that is a game plan that works into, what Palace want.
You mentioned the injuries as well. I don't know. Let's see. Well, anyway, you can buy me a pint if I'm right, yeah?
Deal. You got yourself a deal.
Okay, we'll move on to the next match of the weekend. Brentford against Liverpool. Liverpool sit fourth at this point in the season. it's no secret that their run of form hasn't been great. They're coming off the back. They won midweek in the Champions League, but they did, of course, lose to a substandard Man United team, I think it's fair to say, last weekend. How are they going to bounce back from that one?
Obviously, the Champions League win in midweek was massive for them. So I think if they'd lost that, then, I mean, the pressure was already massively on Arne Slot and Liverpool, but now they've won that. You know, it has eased things slightly, but not massively because their league form has been so bad. So, I mean, this is a huge game. You think if they lose this, like, is it too early to say they're like out of the title?
Going there already.
Like, I mean, how many teams lose that amount of games in a row and go on to win the league?
It's true.
Really,
it's true.
And Brentford's a tough place to go. Like, it's not easy at all. Like the pressure they put you under. I was watching the game against West Ham on Monday. I mean, geez, West Ham made Brentford look like, you know, Real Madrid. But you know, the way they're so physical and so powerful. That, you know, you can't just turn up and, you know, expect to beat Brentford because they're such a tough team to play against. So I think it's going to be really tough for them. I'd say that I do think they will win narrowly.
Okay.
I think maybe like a 1-0 I could see.
Yeah.
But it's tough. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I've got to go for Liverpool here. They're going to be absolutely reeling from losing to their rivals Man United last weekend when I think nobody expected that result. So they're going to just be back with a vengeance. I actually think it's going to be more than a 1-0. I'm going to go for about 3-0 Liverpool. I think they're going to be like really, really wanting a win here. Well, our reporter, Nazira Youssef, as always, was at the Liverpool training ground today to hear what Arne Slot had to say.
TV Arne Slot has just finished speaking to the media ahead of Liverpool's Premier League clash away to Brentford tomorrow evening. Liverpool, of course, went back to winning ways in the Champions League during midweek, having won 5-1 against Eintracht Frankfurt. However, during this fixture against Brentford, he has quite a few injuries to contend with. However, the big story, of course, is Mohamed Salah. The Egyptian hasn't really started the season in the best of form. Since March, he's only gone on to score 5 goals in his last 23 appearances for Liverpool. And although Arne Slot isn't very concerned about the Egyptian
in football, players miss chances, and Mo is a human being as well. So we're not used to him missing chances, let alone a few games in a row. But these things can happen. What could have to do with? I have no clue if it does, but I could come up with it's easier maybe to finish a chance if you're 3-1 up than if you're 1-0 down. But maybe that's completely not true for him, but good. But I think the main thing is that Mo has always scored his goal for our club. And the last thing I worry about is Mo starting to score goals again, because that's what he done his whole life. And that's what I expect him to do in the upcoming weeks and months for our club as well.
So Slot mentioned the injuries there. We've got Isak as a doubt. Frimpong is out. And of course, Alisson, who's been out for a while. Who are they going to miss? I mean, it feels like they're already missing Alisson.
Yeah, I think Mamardashvili is a good goalkeeper, but it's hard to judge goalkeepers. You know, there's like certain saves that they might be near to and they don't quite make. They think, would Alisson have saved that? I think, yeah, even you look at the one against Man United, I think the first goal, could he
have done better? I think so.
There's just no way to answer it. But I think, you know, and also obviously Alisson's distribution as well. I think they missed that as well. But yeah, I mean, obviously they've got Ekitike to come in for Isak, so I don't think that's, you know, and Isak's not really hit the ground running at all since he's, you know, obviously he's had to work his fitness up because he didn't play at all for Newcastle, so you know that's kind of like a mitigating factor. But you know, Slot said he's fit now, and now he sort of needs to start delivering. But
it's so hard when a player comes with that price tag as well, then,
yeah,
isn't it?
And the same with
the story,
as well, you know?
The story as well, though, that was surrounding Isak and that whole thing. It's like, God, it's such a hard thing to come in and get going under that scrutiny.
Yeah, you know, it's just like seeing in the, you know, Wirtz got an assist because he passed it a few yards to Szoboszlai, who then smashed it in from out the side. It's like he's got an assist. It's like, you know, I think Slot even says
like does it count?
It's like it's an assist. Like, you know, he's been creating chances.
Counts in FPL.
Well, exactly. Wirtz has been creating chances since since he came to the Premier League. All right, he's still got to do some adapting, but it's all of a sudden like he passes it a few yards and he gets an assist, and everyone, he's finally got an assist. It's like, come on, like,
you know, it's a game of stats these days, though. Dan. People are just checking the stats.
Yeah, it is. But and obviously, I think you mentioned Frimpong as well being out, which is a bit of a shame because he's just not been able to get a run of games going, not been able to settle in. Obviously, he had the injury earlier on in the season, and now he's got another one. So, you know, I predicted Liverpool to win the league at the start of the season. I thought with Frimpong and Kirk as those attacking fullbacks. I thought they were going to be great, and it's just not really happened for either of them so far. So
yeah, well, a final Liverpool player I want to touch on is Mo Salah. He's not been at his best this season. And I think, compare it to last season, I think a big reason, well, the main reason why Liverpool won the league was because of him, right?
Yeah.
And his lack of form, how much is that affecting Liverpool? Can they find it from elsewhere?
I think it is affecting them. I mean, to be fair, goal scoring hasn't really been their problem. It's been the amount of goals they've been conceding, which, I mean, to be fair, you could maybe say Salah as well. You know, was it Mark Cucurella after the game against Liverpool, which Chelsea once sort of said, oh, we tried to, you know, target Salah down that side because of, you know, he doesn't really contribute much defensively. But that's always, you know, last season Salah was so good because they allowed him to stay high up the pitch, and they just allowed him basically to focus on getting into the most dangerous areas where he can score.
Okay, question for you.
Go on.
Would you drop him?
No,
Oh,
not now.
okay.
Frimpong's injured. You think
Yeah,
maybe
that's true,
Frimpong
that's
could
true.
have come in for him
Yeah.
on the right, but I don't know who you play there instead of him. Chiesa maybe.
He's
I mean, he has been
undroppable
good.
though. I think even with like he's got.
I think it's a bit harsh. Like a lot of people saying, you know, drop him. You know, he scored like what 20? How many goals was it last year?
Put some respect on the name.
Yeah, and you know, I think like Slot said, he's just missing chances. Really,
Yeah.
you know, he's still getting the chances. And even last season, he was never a player that was like picking the ball up and running and beating loads of people. And he was just a goal scorer. He was in the dangerous positions and he was scoring the goals. And this year he's not. So
Yeah.
it happens.
No, I hear ya. Okay, next match. We're going Man United Brighton. This is 9th versus 10th in the league at the moment.
Massive game.
So it's a mid-table clash. How do you see this one going? Last week's win was the first time under Amorim that United have got back-to-back wins in the Premier League. I mean, United strand, what's his name? Frank. Shout out to Frank. He's going to be licking his lips that
Yeah.
he might have a prospect
They
of
get up to
finally shaving his hair.
They get up to 3 in a row. That's probably, I don't know, that's probably the closest he's been since he started it.
He'll be excited. I don't think he thought that Liverpool was going to be raising his hopes on this mission, but there you
I don't know
go.
why he did 5 games in a row. It was like,
It's
you know,
too much.
Who wins 5
It's a
games
lot,
in a
isn't
row?
it?
Yeah,
I think maybe he just wanted the long hair.
maybe.
This
He's
is all
pulling
a
it
cover.
off. He's pulling it off.
He is pulling it off. It's true. Not many could, but yeah, shout out Frank. Do you think they're going to get a third successive victory? No. Okay.
I don't know.
It's simple as that. It's a no.
I just think, you know, it's just so much been made about needing to follow up that win over Liverpool. You know, Amorim's talking today about how they can't get too carried away with it, and you know, it's really important to focus on the next one because, you know, when they win a game, they've just been so inconsistent since Amorim's been in. They win a game and they think, oh, you know, things are looking up, and then they'll draw one or they'll lose one, and it's just happened so many times before. I just think it will happen again.
Yeah, we've got
I mean,
Mount.
you know, obviously you're a United fan,
yeah.
but what do you?
Keep that on the DL.
Yeah, what do you?
No,
Think
do you
that's a
know
bit
what?
harsh?
Do you know what? Look, I'm gonna go positive.
Good for you.
I want Frank to shave his hair, and I'm gonna go for United
Well, he's still
win
got
on
2
this
more
one.
games to go after
2
this
more
one if they win.
Look, we've got to
so.
take it piece by piece. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go for a United win on
I think
this one.
Brighton are a good team as well.
I'm not undermining Brighton,
Yeah,
but
they've got a couple
United
of wins
have
at
a bit.
Old Trafford in the
Yeah.
last couple of seasons as well, I think. So
United have a bit of momentum. Like if they can't, you know, they've got to build on it. They've got to build on it. But Mount and Maguire are doubt.
We had some issues during the week with Harry Maguire and Mason Mount, knocks, but nothing serious. We will see tomorrow. Leach is out. The rest is ready for the game.
Next up, Dan. Sorry to disturb your pint.
that's all right. I'm trying to get a quick sip in before we started again.
Chelsea versus Sunderland. Chelsea sit 5th, Sunderland sit 7th. I want to ask you actually about Sunderland first.
Yeah.
They are breaking the trend of these newly promoted sides coming up and not being able to compete. What have you made of them so far this season?
Yeah, brilliant. I think you know, a few people sort of tipped them before the start of the season to have a good season because of the investment they've made over the summer, and they brought in a lot of new players. And I wasn't sure really. I thought they'd maybe struggle a bit, but they've sort of proved me wrong. You know, I think some of the signings they've made. I mean, the goalkeeper Robin Roofs has been exceptional. He's been probably maybe the biggest reason for why they've been so good. Like, obviously, as a newly promoted team, they've had to withstand a lot of pressure, as is expected. But he's probably maybe arguably been the best goalkeeper in the league this season. Nordi Mukiele as well, who's been a really good signing. So yeah, it's not going to be easy for Chelsea. I think it's going to be quite a tough game. And these sort of games over the last couple of years, Chelsea have sort of struggled against these sort of mid-table teams. You know, obviously they drew with Palace on the opening day, lost to Brighton, which, you know, all right, they had the red card, so, you know, you can sort of use that as a mitigating factor. But I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it'll be quite a tight game, actually.
Yeah, Sunderland have come a long old way since that season 1 of Sunderland Till I Die.
Oh, that was amazing.
That was
might be
amazing
my
telly.
favourite football documentary.
It was so good.
Yeah, it's like they sort of build it as like a, Sunderland trying to get back to the big time, and then it just turned into
it just flopped.
Amazing.
And here they are. They made it to the big time, and they're thriving. So good for them. Yeah, good for them indeed. Well, we'll turn to Chelsea. Here is what Enzo Maresca said in his press conference earlier today.
Yeah, we have a chat with Mark 2 weeks ago. I told him that the way he was training I didn't like, and he needs to change. He changed and he get the chance. Easy like that.
So what didn't you like about the way he was training?
He was not training well.
In what way?
In all the way.
Well, he wasn't giving enough commitment, or?
In all the way, yeah.
Maresca mentions Mark Yu not training well enough, kind of called him out on that, and almost that helping him do better, get his chance. If I told you, Dan, that you weren't good at your job, would that make you do better?
She tells me all the time off camera, so you say if, I already... No, she doesn't. Yeah, it's not always an easy thing to hear, is it? Especially, my job thankfully doesn't involve much physical exercise. So if I was busting, running a lot in training, and someone said you're not running hard enough, you're like... But it's not a new thing for Maresca. He said it last season with Noni Madueke a couple of times, actually. I think he said stuff about Mudryk, obviously, for the forgotten man for Chelsea. He said it about him before. So it's not, he's made that quite a habit of going public with telling the media that the players aren't working hard enough in training. I think he's just very honest, Maresca. You can obviously debate whether that's a good thing or not, but. Guy looked quite good. I went to the game on Wednesday night. He scored the opening goal for Chelsea. And
how were they midweek, just generally? Yeah,
I mean they were good. Obviously, but Ajax probably one of the worst teams I've seen for a while. They were, and obviously they got the red card in the first half, so that obviously played a big part. But they did make it easy for Chelsea. Chelsea had a really young team out. They made quite a few changes, and they were good. I thought they obviously deserved to win. They thrashed them 5-1, but.
Okay, I'm gonna go for a draw on this one.
Really? Yeah. I think Chelsea might win, but I think it'll be quite tight. Yeah. Obviously they'll have João Pedro back as well, who missed the Champions League game because he was suspended, so he sort of had a week's rest. Yeah. I think he could make a difference.
Yeah. Well, we want to hear your predictions too, so let us know in the comments. As always, get involved in the conversation. Okay, next game: Aston Villa versus Man City. Man City sits second. Now, are they going to give Arsenal a run in this title race? Is it those two that you're seeing fighting at the end? Yeah,
I don't want to rule Liverpool out completely. I know they've been on a bad run, and I did sort of say earlier they might be out of it if they lose to Brentford. But
backtracking there,
cover all bases, Dan.
That's the first rule of being a journalist.
Yeah, exactly. You can't rule them out. It's too early for that. But City will definitely be there. I mean, if anything, just for Haaland, it's just been. I mean, we all know how good he was. We all know he was a great player, but. This season, I think he's maybe even gone up another level. I love watching him. I know he doesn't really touch the ball very much, and sometimes you're like...
That's almost the beauty of him, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it.
He's barely working up a sweat.
Yeah, but then when he does touch, the goals he scores are just so good. He scores all types of goals as well. He's leaping high in the air to head it in, or he's just bullying his way through the back line to score. It's great. Yeah, it's great to watch, and I think, when they've got a player that good, who's maybe the best player in the world right now, you could easily see them winning the league. I think that's beyond them at all, despite struggling last season, obviously.
Yeah. Well, Hayters reporter Stan Smith was up in Manchester today and heard from Pep Guardiola.
Stan Smith here at the City training ground, where Pep Guardiola gave us his latest views on the Premier League title race ahead of Man City's trip to Aston Villa this weekend.
Well, in the first 3 games, yeah, for sure we are out, and Liverpool is already done, and now it looks like Liverpool is done. And I tell you that they will be back. So I said many times, so I know that all the pundits, all the specialists, former players, they know everything is going to happen after 5 games. I'm not able to do that. So always I wait 10, 15 games to know exactly what is going on, but I think obviously Liverpool, Arsenal are there, someone else will be there, and hopefully we can be there.
Pep thinks it's too early to talk about the title race, to make any calls. So should we go with that? You're thinking the same thing.
You asked me. We have literally just spoken about the title race, so maybe we should. But it is. It's 8 games. It's the 9th game of the season, so of course it is. But But, that's why everyone talks about it. It's too early for the managers and the players to talk about it because...
But we're allowed.
Yeah, well, it's our job, isn't it? We're
our
the
job.
media, so
It's
we've got to
our only job.
overhype it,
I want to talk about Villa because they lost in the Europa League last night.
Yeah.
What are you making of their season?
Well, I mean, started badly and then they had that amazing running. It was 5 wins in a row and then obviously they lost last night. So I think they've looked strong. I mean, obviously I didn't watch the game last night, but that was a real surprise, losing to, the go-ahead Eagles, which I think is probably the best name for a football team.
It is a good name, yeah.
The go-ahead Eagles. It's an amazing name for a
If the
team.
Europa League was one on the best names,
they'd hands down. But I think it's not going to be an easy game for City. Obviously, they've Unai Emery's top manager. He's always well organised the team, and I think he made a few changes for the Europa League game. So I think we'll make a few changes for this one, and I think it'll be. I've said it a few times, but I do think it will be quite a close game. I think City will edge it, but I don't think Villa will make it easy for them. And they'll obviously be desperate to bounce back from that defeat as well. So
they will indeed. Okay, Spurs go away. They go to Merseyside. They face Everton this weekend. Spurs sit 6th, Everton sit 12th. Before we talk about this one, our reporter Nayan Murphy heard from Thomas Frank earlier today.
I was at Thomas Frank's press conference ahead of their match against Everton this weekend. He gave positive injury updates on Christian Romero, Destiny Udogie and Dominic Solanke, and he was full of praise for Everton's Jack Grealish, who's had a resurgence in form since his move to Everton.
But can we get an update on Dom, Romero, Destiny?
Kuti just walk down on the grass running, which on some of the performance guys, so positive, progressing, no like time frame, but I don't expect it to be a longer one. Destiny is not on the grass yet, but still progressing. So again, not a longer one. And Dominic, positive. He's taking steps in the right direction every day. Was on the grass again today on his own, but has now a sustainable amount of pitch session in him on his own. So is progressing forward.
Okay, so Thomas Frank told us Romero and Udogie are out. Solanke is still out, but he's back on the grass. He's training. It gives Tottenham fans hope, and they need a bit of hope. They that sort of dire game against Monaco, which our wonderful colleague Jerry Cox was out there to cover. Not his best away day, I'd say.
Shame they couldn't give him a better game, unfortunately. But Solanke being recovering well is good news, because I think they're really lacking up top at the moment. Obviously, Richarlison started the season well, but hasn't really done it in recent weeks. Kolo Muani got that injury, and Frank said earlier he's still not completely fit, and he's still working his way up, so he's going to take a bit of time. And I think they're really lacking that striker at the moment. And not just the striker, but also in the other attacking areas. Xavi Simons hasn't really settled in yet. It's taken him quite a while. They need more up top. I think that's been where they've been falling short in recent weeks.
Yeah. Well, we heard from Thomas Frank just then. What have you made of his start to his reign at Spurs?
Mixed, really. Well, I think what we do have to remember, they did finish 17th last year.
It's forgotten because of that Europa League, right?
Exactly, because it's such, that's got to be one of the hardest seasons to judge. They were 17th in the league, but they won the Europa League.
And they're playing Champions League football now.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we do have to remember that. And obviously they had bad injury problems, terrible injury problems last season. And actually, maybe it's gone a bit under the radar, but they do actually have really bad injury problems again. James Maddison getting that really bad injury in pre-season. He's probably, if he's going to play, it's going to be very late in the season.
Gives him more time to make TikToks, though. Do you like his TikToks?
Oh, I haven't seen his TikTok.
I love
Am I
his
missing
TikToks.
out?
Yeah, you are missing out, actually.
Check it out.
He makes some very good TikToks.
Kulusevski, I think they really miss him. He's one of their most important players. So, yeah, they're lacking in attack, and injuries are sort of costing them. But I think you've got to give Frank a bit of patience and a bit of time. It's like I said, from last season, it's I think it is going to take a bit of time. So,
give me a prediction on this one: Everton versus Spurs.
I think a draw.
A draw?
I'm saying it's probably a good thing that Spurs are playing away, because they've been much better away.
Yeah, I was going to go for a Spurs win actually on this one.
Yeah. What's their away form recently? You think?
Yeah, I think they'll get something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Newcastle face Fulham. They've had not a great run in the Premier League, but they seem to be doing all right in the Champions League.
Yeah. They've not really hit the ground, sort of got things going yet in the Premier League. Newcastle, obviously, Voltemada's come in and done really
He's
well.
Done well, yeah.
Yeah, I love watching him. He's like so unique. I think Eddie Howe said it as well. Is you don't see many players like that are like so big and so sort of elegant as well. So. But yeah, they've got to get it going in the Premier League. Really, like I said, they've been good in the Champions League, but I think.
Do you see them doing that against Fulham?
I think it could be a draw. You know.
A draw. We're going,
yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go for Newcastle win.
I mean,
on
it's
this one.
the Champions League sort of midweek. What we spoke about earlier, and a couple of seasons ago when they were in the Champions League, that was what everyone was rightfully saying was how much they struggled with that midweek.
Yeah, it's true.
Weekend,
but
and I think they are struggling with that a bit again.
They need points, and I think Fulham are going to be a target of those points.
Yeah, they should be. Yeah, I mean, just expect to win that one, but
exactly, especially at St James's. We've got to talk about Bournemouth Forest. Sean Dyche. How good is it to have him back?
Yeah, love it. Nah, it's a good appointment for them. I think obviously got his first win in the Europa League, so bringing back the good times at Forest already, and they needed that. I mean, but obviously that's quickly forgotten because their league form has been so bad.
Yeah.
So if they lose on the weekend, it's looking pretty bleak for them. I think they're already in the bottom three. I think I'm right in saying going into the weekend, and
they are. They sit in 18th.
Yeah, they're in relegation trouble as it stands, but I can't see it. I think they'll improve under Dyche. I think he said like last week that Maresca, the owner, wants him to sort of stabilise the situation.
We were at the Legends of Football event the other week, watching Gary Lineker and Jill Scott get honoured. And Sean Dyche was there, and he actually won a prize in the auction. He was the top bidder for, wait for it, drum roll please, a signed copy of New Order's World in Motion.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's a big music fan, isn't he?
He's
He loves
a
his
big music fan. So
I hope that's not the only thing he wins this season. He's already won one game, so I hope he can win
maybe
a
he's
few more.
playing that signed record to
motivate the players. Good work.
Good work. Right. So Bournemouth Forest, which way do you see it going? Bournemouth's third.
Yeah, Bournemouth are really
and it's
good.
At home for
yeah,
Bournemouth.
I think Bournemouth will win that quite comfortably.
I see Bournemouth winning this one as well. Yeah,
they've
I
been
do.
really good.
Okay, quick fire on the last two games. Leeds versus West Ham.
A draw. Leeds haven't been particularly good, and West Ham have been terrible. So I
Yeah,
think
I'm going for a
take
Leeds.
draw.
I'm going to go for a Leeds win.
Yeah.
Yeah, at home. I'm going Leeds win. And Wolves versus Burnley. This is the game that everyone's looking forward to this weekend, isn't it?
That's because they last on Match of the Day, but it's on Sunday, right? So maybe last on Match of the Day
Last
too.
on Match of
No
the Day.
offence. So it might be a 4-3 thriller, and I'll have to eat my words. But I think 0-0. Genuinely, I think it will be. I was writing down my predictions earlier
You've
before
gone
we
for
did
a
this.
0-0.
I think it might be 0-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am going to go. I'll go for a Wolves win on this one.
I need that.
And now we're going to do a regular feature each week. You got through a bit of your pint.
I didn't want to drink the whole thing.
We've not done too well. Maybe we can do a bit better next week.
Yeah.
But I want to know, who is your pint-sized partner of the week? And by this I mean, who do you want to go for a pint with this week?
I mean, we've already...
I can kick it off if you want.
Yeah,
there was a name that came straight to my mind, and that is Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah.
Because I want the dirt. I want to know what happened in those 39 days.
Yeah.
And was it 17 minutes?
After the game? 20 minutes,
That must have been an
yeah.
interesting 17 minutes of his life.
Yeah.
And I want to know all of it, so I want to go for a pint
Do you
with
think
Ange.
he'd tell you though? He might,
over a pint.
Yeah, true.
Maybe over a few pints.
Yeah, so maybe more than one.
It could be more than
Well,
one pint.
on that theme, I'd probably say Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
Back in management, I think he'd be a good person to go for a drink with Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
Always comes across very well. I think I'd like to hear his sort of views on football.
I'd get. What about round the table? All four of us, me, you,
It might be a bit awkward.
Ange and Sean.
It might be a bit awkward.
Yeah, we'll wait till Sean Dyche.
Yeah, maybe wait
We'll
wait a few weeks for that,
exactly,
yeah.
a few weeks. Yeah, we'll give Sean at least a few weeks. Anyway, let us know who your pint-sized partner would be. Who do you want to go for a pint with? That just about covers all of the Premier League action for the week. Thanks for joining me,
Yeah,
Dan.
thank you very much.
Here at Box. You guys can get down to Box this weekend, watch those matches that we've been talking about. Let us know your predictions, let us know who you want to go for a pint with, and we will be back for more pint-sized pressers, same time next week. See you then.